fulfill their desires, such a waste of existence. Spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
Anxious earth is rising. Anxious earth is rising. I'm so happy.
We spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
What's going on? Hey, welcome to the Double Tribble channel. My name is Ron. And I'm on Twitch, streaming live on Twitch on a Double Tribble channel. If you're watching this on a VOD somewhere, this isn't an edited down video, it's just a live broadcast, and it's really scuff, and you know how that goes. I'm here in New Hampshire, in rural New Hampshire, surrounded by forests and wild animals, all kinds of cool stuff. Sometimes I stream about the animals. I'm vegan, sometimes I stream about that. Mostly it's science streams. I do a lot of science streams. And I think that's what I'm talking about today. Mostly science streams. I don't know. I haven't really planned out the stream all the way. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about science a little bit. In the very beginning, I'm going to talk about science. So let's see here. Let me adjust my camera because I didn't do that before I started here. So hang on just a second while I do that. Get that figured out. Did I say it was going to be scuff? Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? That doesn't look too bad. Now this is kind of a test stream because I'm trying something new here. My setup is new here. If you've noticed my last few streams. The camera work has been kind of shaky, and so it's the reason it was shaky is because I had the camera on the table, and this table is not very secure, and so when I hit the table, it would cause the camera to shake. But now I've mounted my camera on so that it's got a long arm and it's not connected to the table at all, so it should be stable now. But it's a little bit higher up, so it's kind of a weird angle now. Also, it doesn't look like it's completely level here. Let me adjust that here. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it could need use some padding in there. Let's see here. Hang on just a second. We'll get this figured out. Alright, this is just, this is going to take a second here. Does that look a little bit better? Does that look a little, that's more even. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's pretty even. Yeah, that's a lot better. Alright. And if I sit up, then it'll be even. And let's see if I got the colors and all the brightness and all that. Let's see here. That looks good enough, I think. Yeah, that'll work. All right. So we got that figured out. And I also need to check to see if I'm in sync. Did I say this was a test stream? Almost. Hang on just a second. What I'm doing right now is I'm testing the synchronization of the audio to the video. So. All right, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. All right, we're ready to rock and roll here. All right, so today's stream, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about, but I wanted to test out my new setup here. And it was getting late, so I went live. The stuff that I had on here. Yes, this is a shirtless stream. I'm not wearing a shirt under this hoodie, so it is technically a shirtless stream. For those of you who came for that, I doubt if anybody did. I have AI trivia in here. I want to try to do that. I've tried to ask AI to set up to create a trivia quiz. Just tell it, make a trivia quiz and have it ask a whole bunch of questions. And it struggled with that, so I'm going to play with that a little bit and see if we can get it to do a trivia quiz at some point. And I have on here new conspiracy theory. I have this thing now that I'm doing. I've done it a couple times. I did it a few months ago, and I did it on my last stream. And I want to try to do it more often. And that is to talk about a conspiracy theory that sounds something that sounds like a conspiracy theory but isn't a conspiracy theory. That's the goal. The first one I did was on NASA's Mercury mission. I said that NASA's Mercury mission never actually put an astronaut on Mercury. There's the whole moon landing conspiracy, So I thought that was kind of funny, saying that the Mercury mission never actually put any astronauts on Mercury.
So I've got just
If in your office you as an intellectual worker were supplied with a computer display backed up by a computer that was alive for you all day and was instantly responsive, instantly responsive to every action you had, how much value could you derive from that? Well, this basically characterizes what we've been pursuing for many years in what we call the Augmented Human Intellect Research Center at Stanford Research Institute. We're going to try our best to show you rather than tell you about this program. Okay, there's Don Andrews' hand in Menlo Park. And in a second we'll see the screen that he's working and the way the tracking spot moves in conjunction with movements of that mouse. I don't know why we call it a mouse. Sometimes I apologize. It started that way and we never did change it. This characterizes the way I could sit here and look at a completely blank piece of paper. That's the way I start many projects. So with my system, that's a good start. I'll sit here and say, I'd like to load that in. So I'm putting in an entity called a statement, and that's full of other entities called words. And if I make some mistakes, I can back up a little bit. So I have a statement with some entities' words, and I can do some operations on these. I can copy a word. I can say that word like copy after itself. Let's make more statements. I'll say copy that statement, and lo and behold, I have another one. Copy that one, another one. I can even copy groups of statements. I can say after that one, copy the group from there to there. And it does. So let me jump back to the head of the list, and I can do things like begin to reorganize it a little bit. Well, I say after bananas, it's more likely that I'll take the carrots there. So let me organize it by saying just generally produce. All right, produce, I've got carrots. And I'll move under there also bananas. And in fact, I could move a whole group under there, say oranges and apples also. Well, I'm going to do something called jump on a link. And a link is something that'll go between files. So what it's going to do It says, I'm going to go to your file name CNRO. So here's what I drew with a picture drawing capability here. It's a slight map if I start from work, and here's the route I seem to have to go to pick up all the materials. And that's my plan for getting home tonight. But if I want to, I can say, the library, what am I supposed to pick up there? I can just point to that, and oh, I see, overdue books and all. Well, there was a statement there with that name on it. So in his display, he sees my text, so I'll execute it. And sure enough, it does. But what's that running around? Well, if he's looking at my text, he'd like to have something to say about it. So we put on a marker, a tracking spot that he controls. So he's sitting there in Menlo Park looking at this text, and he can point to it. But we've carefully reserved for me the right to control and operate on this, so my bug is more powerful than yours. But we can have an argument. Yeah. That's what they call a bug fight. So we've set up now audio coupling, and then we're both looking at the same display, and that'd be very handy to work. We can talk to each other and point, and maybe later I can hand you the chalk on this blackboard, like saying, here, you control it. But let's stay this mode now, and add another feature that hardware-wise is available through the kind of display we have. I'd like to see you while I'm working on it. And we're going to go for a picture down in our laboratory in Menlo Park and pipe it up. Come in, Menlo Park. Hi, Bill. That's great. Now we're connected audio. You can see my work, you can point at it, and I can see your face, and we can talk. So let's do some collaborating. And a forthcoming involvement is this ARPA computer network, the experimental network that's going to come into being in its first form in about a year and end up sometime later with some 20 experimental computers in a network, which would be enough so that I could be running a system in Cambridge over the network and getting the same kind of response on a CRT. And it may be that people there, the next time we have a conference in Boston, I'll try this from there. And in that network, we're going to try to develop a special service to provide network information.
So this is really quite amazing here. He's talking about all this different stuff. He's got hyperlinks. I didn't know that came that early. I thought hyperlinks came like in the 80s or something. So I didn't even realize that he was talking about that at that time. But he had the mouse there. He was able to select things with the mouse and move them around. You know, this is 1968. You know, that's like transistors had just been, invented. A few years before this, they were using vacuum tubes in their computers. So this is quite amazing.
If in your office, you as an intellectual worker were supplied with a computer display backed up by a computer that was alive for you all day and was instantly responsive.
Oh shit, it started over. I'm
but
sorry.
If I want to, I can Menlo Park looking at this text, and he can point to it. But we've carefully reserved for me the right to control and operate on this. I'd like to see you while I'm working. The experimental network that's going to come into being in its first form in about a year and end up sometime later with some 20 experimental computers.
Oh, okay, he's talking
which
about...
would be enough so that I could be running a system in Cambridge over the network and getting the same kind of response on a CRT. And it may be that people there, the next time we have a conference in Boston, I'll try this from there. And in that network, we're going to try to develop a special service to provide network information, relevant network information for people, for the kind of information that it takes to operate such a network. Who's got what services, what protocol do I use to get there, who's up to date, where's the user's guide, where can I find a paper that describes this system that so-and-so offers. That's going to be a very interesting challenge for us to utilize our tools for organizing and retrieving information.
Alright, I don't want to play any more of that music. Let me see what this is there. This is, so it's SRI, but I don't know who, let's see here. Alright. I don't know who. I don't because that group doesn't exist anymore. So let me see what their deal is here. Oh, an independent nonprofit institute headquartered in Silicon Valley. SR is a global leader. Okay. Collaborate. Blah blah blah. Okay, I guess it is the same group. How about that? Okay. I thought they disbanded. Maybe it was just that little, I think they got like sold or something or spun off from Stanford and it's private now. Let's see what they get. The Park Forum. The Park Forum. That's Xerox Park. That's what that is. Forum brings together some of the world's okay. Blah blah blah. All right, so that's kind of cool. That's pretty cool. They got some film of that and stuff. That didn't look like film. That didn't look like it was videotape, because it was hard to videotape stuff at that time. They had videotape. The videotape was like 2 inches thick or something. These big reels and everything like that. So maybe it was that. It could have been videotape. I don't know. Not remote like that. I don't think it'd be very hard for them to do that. So okay, so that's the invention of the mouse, and I got to meet that guy. So that's kind of cool. He gave a little talk there in Monterey at some conference or something. All right, let me close this YouTube thing. I lost my mouse, my mic at some point there, so I hope I didn't lose too. I don't know what caused it to go away, but it did. And I don't know what point it went away. Hopefully it didn't. I didn't lose too much, but I fixed it while I was playing that video. So hopefully I didn't lose too much information there. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the sync again since I lost the mic and I've been doing all kinds of stuff here. So did I say this was almost a test stream? Yeah, it's almost a test stream. All right, I'm gonna clap my hands and I'm gonna check to see if the sound makes, you got it right. I think that's pretty good. I don't know. So we're gonna go with that. I think it's all right. I think we're okay. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna do here is we had the conspiracy theory. We talked about that. The mouse thing that wasn't even on my list here of things to do, but I just thought that was cool. So there were a couple other things that we could talk about. Chemtrail. Oh, this was something that I found out that is just, I didn't know of this. This is a weird thing that I didn't know about. Let's see here. This is an island, or a group of islands. KINMEN. I don't know how you pronounce it. Maybe it's just pronounced KINMEN Islands. I don't know. But it's part of Taiwan. Taiwan is this island. You know about Taiwan, right? It used to be called Formosa. Here we go. This is China, right? And it's real big, right? China, real big here. And then this island is off the coast of China. And here, let me show you on the globe here. That's what I'll do. I'll show you on the globe. Whoops. Let's see here. This is China, right? You see China? Can you see that? I gotta adjust my camera here. Hang on just a second. Hold on. We'll get it. Yeah. All right, I'll put it on autofocus. I think that should do it. So right here is Taiwan. You see that? That's Taiwan. That little itty bitty tiny island there is Taiwan. And this is China up here, right? Further up here, right? That's China. But this little teeny island here. Oh, I lost it. There it is. That little teeny island there is Taiwan. Itsy bitsy, right? And if you look at on the thing here, on this map, this is that little teeny Taiwan, that little speck Taiwan on the globe there. But then part of Taiwan is more than just this island here. You got other islands, and it goes all the way to this group of islands over here, right next to China. So this is technically part of, or not technically, it is. This is part of Taiwan here, and of course, Taiwan claims that all of China belongs to them, and China over here, communist China, believes that Taiwan belongs to them. So both of them claim all of China. It's been like that for 60 years or something. Long time. But so I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't even know that. I thought it was just this big island here was Taiwan, and maybe a few of these other ones. I didn't realize that part of that Taiwan goes all the way to here, right next to China. And they actually, when they first broke off, they broke off in the late 40s, and they had a civil war that kind of was going on and off for a long time, into the 60s. And in 1958, I guess the Chinese attacked that island, or those groups of islands there. Let's see if they got a history here. History. Let's see here. Okay. I forget what they called it. They called it some crisis. I forget what they called it. We'll find it here. Okay, that's World War II, Korean War. I can't believe they don't say what the I think God, I forget what they call it. Anyway, they in 58, I think that was the last where they were actually shooting each other, and China bombed those islands from their mainland, right? They were right. So China bombed these little islands here in 1958. No, they never took it over. But so that was the last time they had a big problem, where they were actually shooting at each other. So at this point, it's just it's a diplomatic thing, I thought maybe they might make a move on Taiwan, because we got the asshole in there right now, who's just absolutely incompetent, and they see it, and they know how incompetent he is, and she just met with the asshole, the orange asshole, in China, and got a good look at him. Just got to know that that we're vulnerable. The U.S. is vulnerable right now, because we got an asshole running the country, So I thought maybe they would use this time to this situation where the orange guy is kind of losing his faculties, and not and They had to fire a bunch of generals, which I don't know why they fired all these generals, but I'm guessing it's because they refused to do what he was telling them to do, because he was telling them to do illegal stuff. You know, what's going on right now in overseas there, with the Strait of Hormuz and all that, you know, with Iran and everything. That's illegal. He doesn't have authorization from Congress to do that. It's illegal. And any, you know, commander, any officer, has a responsibility not to follow orders that are illegal. So they should not be following those orders right now. You know, they're illegal orders. You know, to do what he's doing. Congress has not given the okay. You know, so we're vulnerable right now. You know, they just fired a bunch of generals, and if they're generals who were competent and had the integrity not to follow those orders, then it means that the ones that are left are the bad guys, right? Or whatever, you know, or either, you know, I don't want to say bad guys. The ones that are left are you know, not following the law. Okay, let's put it that way. They're not following the law. The commanders that are following his orders are following illegal orders. Whether they know they're illegal, they should know they're illegal. But anyway, so I think that China, seeing all this that's going on, and that the guy we have in there right now is incompetent, I thought maybe they might choose this time to invade Taiwan, you know. But after looking at it some more, you know, they have you know, they've got a ferry service set up here between these islands. They do a whole bunch of trade. They do a whole bunch of trade with Taiwan. You know, all the chip manufacturers, you know, are here. You know, so they probably would. You know, they might. It would be a surprise if they did that. I think if they attacked them. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of cool, or just an interesting thing, that these islands are there that I didn't know about before. That this thing called, you know, Taiwan goes all the way up right next to the China here, right next to them there. So it isn't just China. You know, if China attacks, it isn't just that they have to go across the strait here and attack Taiwan. They could just attack these little islands here if they wanted, you know, or these over here or whatever. Is that part of Taiwan too? I don't know. This is a while ago. This is 62. I don't think it's changed since 62. So today I learned. Isn't that what this is? Today I learned. Let me see what's going on here. I haven't been checking my. Okay, I want to make sure there was nothing going on here that I didn't know about. All right, so that was kind of cool. That was a new thing that I learned. And what else did I learn? I learned oh, this guy is here, I'll show you this. Let's see if this is this guy down here. He Dan Crenshaw. He's a big supporter of the orange asshole who's occupying the Oval Office right now. So he's a big MAGA supporter, big supporter of Trump and all that, right? And he lost. He lost his primary in Texas. That wasn't in the news, or I didn't see it in the news. That I don't watch mainstream that much. I kind of get what filters down. But I didn't hear about this, you know. I don't know what was going on when that happened, but so Let's see, electoral history, 24. Let's see, Republican primary, Texas 2nd Congressional District. All right, it says here that he won. So now I heard that he lost. Okay, they don't have 26 in here. That's the problem. Okay. Okay, they don't have it. They don't even have it here in this article. Look at this. He lost his primary, but they don't even have it in here. How about that? They don't even have it in the Wikipedia article. Let's see what Google says about it. All right, let me try harder here. Steve Foth unseats Dan Crenshaw in GOP primary. There it is. It was pretty hard to find that. You know, I didn't. Maybe they announced it in the news, but maybe, you know, there was March 3rd. What else was going around on March 3rd? You know, maybe they. I guess we were at war with Iran, right? They just started the war with Iran not a week before that, so that's what happened. This got crowded out of the news cycle because of Iran. You know, this guy lost. That's a big deal in Texas, no less. So that's a big deal. Misinformation. Okay, he's claiming misinformation. So I don't know. So that's kind of a big deal, right? So to lose a primary, and I think it's kind of good actually, because he's got this eye patch on, and I get that he lost his eye in with a bomb in was it Iraq, or I guess Afghanistan. I forget where it was. It's just using that war in Afghanistan, so maybe that's where it happened. But he lost his eye from a bomb, and he decided to wear patch like that, and it makes him look like a pirate or something, doesn't it? Doesn't it make him look like he's a pirate or something like that? I mean, that's a choice, right? I mean, he could wear a white patch, or he could, or a prosthetic or something like that. But he chose to do it that way to make himself look like a pirate. And I think that's the main one of the big problems we're having right now is that everybody is acting, or is corrupt, and they're stealing, or taking money, tax money, and taking bribes, and doing all this illegal stuff, So having a guy in Congress who looks like a pirate, I don't think is a good idea. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a good thing that the voters voted him out. His position is pretty much, looking at it, all his political positions were mostly MAGA type stuff. I saw one good thing. Let's see. Brief mention of plotting Trump for withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accords. So there you go, right? Immigration, he hates brown people, probably, I'm guessing. Supports enforcing physical barriers, so he wants to build the wall, blah, blah, blah. Social issues. I think he's homophobic too. Let me see. I don't know if that's true or not. Let me check that here. That'd be under social issues, probably, would it? Here it is. 7-year-old transgender child who was the subject of custody battle between supportive mother. Crenshaw opined in favor of the father. Unsupportive father. Okay, so that's anti-trans, right? So, let's see. Despite having previously expressed support for same-sex marriage, Crenshaw voted against the Respect for Marriage Act. Voted against the Respect for Marriage Act. Which one was that? 22? Okay. All right. Even after amendments allowing religious exemptions. Calling same-sex marriage a tough issue. It's not a tough issue. Can't believe we're still doing it. Still, you know, it's decided, you know. Anyway, so he wasn't a good guy. And he looks like a bad guy, right? He looks like a pirate or whatever, so that was something. I wanted to share that with everybody because that was kind of a, you know, we had it was something that just didn't show up. You know, it didn't show up in the news cycle or anything. So what, you know, what's the deal? You know, I mean, it was there, but it was just covered up by Iran. And now we had another you know, several other primaries since then. And the most recent batch on last Tuesday was some of them won. So some of the MAGA people, you know, pro-MAGA people won. There was a guy who lost his primary to somebody who was more MAGA, I guess. I don't know. More MAGA. So I tried to figure out exactly what was going on and try to quantify it and, you know, analyze it, and the information is so hard to find. You know, you'd think that'd be such a simple thing to just get a chart, find somebody who's put together a one-page chart that shows all the primaries and all the districts and who, you know, which incumbents won their primary, which ones lost their primary, which primaries were open and all that. But no, I couldn't find it anywhere. I asked Mr. AI to do it. Mr. AI couldn't put it together because apparently the information is too scattered, too hard for Mr. AI to find. So I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. All right, so we get that guy. Okay, neural processing. Let's see. Oh, they had. I think I talked about this before. You know, they have these neural processing units that are basically, you know, they used to have. They used to use the GPUs. You know, the way it works is that you know, a regular CPU has a whole big instruction set that it can do, and it can do floating point. It can do all these different things, right? And has all these different instructions that you can make the CPU do. And the more instructions that you have that the thing is able to do, the slower it runs relative to a CPU that has less. Uh-oh, wait, we got something going on here. Something's going on. I hear something going on. Hang on a second. What do we got going on here? Oh, we got a raider. Okay. E-Room. Thank you for the raid, E-Room. I appreciate it. How was your stream? No, you can't run to the toilet. I'm gonna ask you how your stream was. You gotta stay here. Hi everybody. Hi Peekaboo Draws. Miss Jellybeans, welcome. Memloss, welcome. E-Room. Peekaboo Draws. Thank you for the raid. Yeah, I'm doing my shirtless stream today. You see that? I'm doing a shirtless stream. 76. Wow. Yeah, I peeked in there a little bit, but it was hard for, you know how hard it's hard for me to do that anyway because of my thing, you know. And and I was trying to do it while I was streaming, and that was very challenging to try to play words on stream while I'm doing my own stream. That was too much for my brain to handle. 76. That's really great. Wow. Yeah, that was. I wish I could play. I wish I was better at that. I wish I was better at words on stream, but I don't know. So, I should probably say who I am. Is that what I'm supposed to do when I get a raid? Yeah, I'm Double Triple. My name is Ron. I'm in rural New Hampshire here. I think most of the folks in your stream know who I am. But yeah, I'm a variety streamer, mostly science stuff. I like to do sciencey things. But I'm vegan. I talk about that sometimes. I do movie reviews. I do a lot of different stuff. Today I'm doing even more scattered. I'm just talking about all kinds of weird stuff. I talked about Taiwan. I talked about computer mouse, where that came from and how that started. A lot of different stuff. So here I'll play a
Double
promo
Triple
here.
is in rural New.
Wait. I'll play my channel trailer for folks who don't know who I am. Let's see if I can do that here. Hang on. All right. All right. Here we go. Here's my movie. Here's my trailer. Here.
Double Triple is in rural New Hampshire. He has social dyslexia, and he streams science and technology, film reviews, IRL with the animals, civics, and vegan things. What's vegan?
Double Triple dwells in the rugged hills of rural New Hampshire. He bears the burden of social dyslexia, and yet he streams science, technology, film critique, life among the beasts, civics, and the many matters of the vegan creed.
Double Tribble is in rural New Hampshire. He has social dyslexia, and he streams science and technology, film reviews, IRL with the animals, civics, and vegan things. What's vegan?
Double Triple is in rural New Hampshire. He has social dyslexia, and he streams science and technology, film reviews, IRL with the animals, civics, and vegan things. What's vegan?
All right. So, do you know who those people are? I don't know. Some of those people. Those are old. Movie stars and stuff. Josephine Baker, the first one. She obviously died a long time ago, but she was really big in the 20s, 30s. There's a whole interesting history to her. Maybe I'll do a short little bio on her one day. Her life is very, very interesting. She was part of the French Resistance. She was a spy against the Nazis and everything. It was real interesting life. Anyway, that's who that was, Josephine Baker. And then Ricardo Montalban, you know who he is. He played the Khan in Star Trek. Remember that? And he was also the guy in Fantasy Island. Remember the plane to plane? He was like the host of Fantasy Island. And then Sidney Poitier was a big. Oh wait, we got something going on here. Oh, somebody gave me a follow. Oh, Chris L. Cox follow. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Sidney Poitier was a big star of the '60s, and he was like a breakthrough actor. You know, he was. Oh, I got another follow.
Jeff in 2020 just followed.
Jeffy D 2020. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Very nice. So he was like a breakthrough actor in the 60s when they were doing civil rights and all that, and like up until the 60s. Black people weren't allowed on film for the most part, you know, especially leading roles and stuff like that. So he's like a breakthrough actor at that time. And then the last one was Audrey Hepburn. and she was also in the 60s, big an actress, and she was like a fashion icon and stuff like that, and kind of set trendsetter and stuff like that, and she was a really, she did a lot of charity work, and so she was a good person, relatively good. So they're all dead. All those people are dead now, right? They died a long time ago. But I had AI do that trailer, so I thought that was kind of cool. One of the things that I wanted to do tonight was AI trivia, and that's not. Rest in peace. Yeah, they're very good people. I want to do AI trivia, and it's not trivia about AI, but I wanted to see if I could make up a trivia game to play, and we could if you guys are in for that, we could do a trivia game, and we can pick what categories we want the trivia game to be about. Would you guys like to do something like that? I could do that and see if we can get AI to do it. I've tried this several times to get AI to write a trivia game, and for some reason it just really has trouble with that. It has trouble doing trivia games, making them up. But if you guys want, we can ask it to make up a trivia game, and then we can play the trivia game. You know what I'm saying? Like I can ask the AI to say make up A to Z trivia, like Erum does, or a bunch of trivia questions. But we can pick the subjects that we want it to be about. We can be about subject, science or music or whatever. Sure, okay, great. Memloss. Oh, that was going to be one of my next things on AI. Let's go. Great. All right. I'll try to shake the bugs out of it. I'll make all the mistakes for you, and then you can do it later, and so you don't make the same mistakes. All right. What categories would you guys want to do it in? Like music or pop culture or science or history or geography or I guess we can even be more specific and say astronomy or chemistry, or is there anything in particular you guys want to do it on? Ancient Russian ballet. Okay, all right, we'll put it in there. Yeah, I know. Erom, I know you're a big expert on ancient Russian ballet, so I know you picked that category so you'd have an advantage. Oh my God! All right, I'll just type some stuff in here. All right, let me see if I can get this screen up here. All right, that's got to go. Browser. You got to get click. There we go. All right. So this is my Mr. AI that I like using. This is a Copilot. I don't know, can you see that? That's readable. I think that's readable. So what I want to do is I want to. They got different modes that you can put it in. And I think I want to say deep think. This is the one that thinks that it says for complex tasks. So I'll do that one. And I actually had a prompt that I had given it that worked, but we'll just go from scratch here. So I always say hi to it first because that gives me better answers. If you're friendly to your AI, it gives you better answers. And that's true. It sounds like it's not true, but it's true. Mongolian throat chanting. Oh, yeah, okay. How many questions are there? Is there anything to know about that? I guess we could ask about that. I could say Mongolia generally. Let's see. All right, so we'll ask it. Okay, let's see. I'll say please make up. Oops. Make up a trivia quiz about Okay, you guys have any real categories you want to do? All right, I'll just put some in here, some categories in here. I'll say music because people, right? About music. Let's see, astronomy. Ballet. All right, ballet. History or geography? History and geography. How do you spell geography? I think that is. All right, let me look and see if we get cats. Okay. How about pets? I'll say pets. That's a little bit. Give them a little bit more leeway there. Trivia quiz about music, astronomy, ballet, history, geography, and pets. Did any other ones thrown out here? And cats. All right, we'll say cats. All right. So please make up a trivia quiz about music, astronomy, ballet, history, geography, and cats. All right. Okay, and I'll say make the answers. Let's see. I'll say A to Z quiz here, trivia, right? A to Z trivia quiz about music. Okay, well, make the answers. Okay, let me see. The answer to the first question start with an A. Second answer a B, etc. Does that make sense? Does that I think that'll work. Please make up a to Z trivia quiz about music, astronomy, ballet, history, geography, and cats. Make the answer to the first question start with an A, second answer a B, etc. Oh, I should say how hard to make it, right? We should make it like, let's see, high school level or something like that. Make the questions not too hard. About high school level. Is that too easy, or do you guys want more challenging stuff? Do we want more challenging or easier? Or I'll tell it to do a variety. Okay. I'll say make sure some of the questions are not too hard. High school level. But some questions can be harder or more difficult. All right. I think that's it. And I'll say put it in a table. Let's see. So when I do the quiz, I don't want them to put the answers right next to the questions. You know what I'm saying? When I do that, I want to make sure that we can't see the answers as I scroll down. So I'm going to say put it into a single column table. Alternating question and answer. All right, let's see what it does with that. All right, let's see what it does. Here we go. All right, so it's thinking. This is really cool because it can show you what it's thinking when it's trying to do this. Oh, it's really thinking hard. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, it gave us the answer to the first one. Okay, I should have scrolled down a little bit. I can't. Can you see that? You can see the answer to the first one, right? Okay, so it did it. All right, what nearby spiral galaxy is the Milky Way on a collision course with? That's Andromeda. I knew that. Did anybody know that one? I knew that one. All right, which lively French dance from Baroque? Let's see here. I'm going to shut this off for a second because I can't read the question. There we go. Okay. Which lively French dance from Baroque suites influenced ballet and often appears in classical scores? All right. Anybody know that one? Ask it to hide the answers and show them when you hover over them with a mouse. Oh, I don't know if it can do that or not. Maybe it could. I don't know. I could ask it to do that. I think we could do it just with scrolling. Does anybody know the answer to this? I don't think anybody knows the answer to this. No, nobody knows the answer to this one. I didn't think so. All right. So the answer is bourrée. Bourrée, I don't. French word. Who knows how it's pronounced? It's French. Could be anything. It says, what is the term for a composition for a solo instrument accompanied by an orchestra, often showcasing virtuosity? What is the term for a composition, meaning like a musical composition, for a solo instrument accompanied by an orchestra, often showcasing virtuosity? Anybody know that one? Borello? Crescendo? No idea. Yeah, it's got to start with a C, I guess, right? Because that's his third question, right? C. All right. Let's see what it says. Let's see what the answer is. Anybody else? Anybody else want to take a guess at that? I don't know. I have no idea what that is. I picked some subjects here that I don't know anything about. Let's see. Concerto. Ah, all right. Ibram, we'll give it to you. Concerto. That's close enough. That sounds very. We don't take off for spelling. All right. All right. Ibram got that one. Almost kind of. Yeah. Let's see. What name is given to the Allied we should know this one, right? What name is given to the Allied invasion of Normandy on June 6th, 44? Okay, I know what that one is. I'm trying to remember the name. I know it was on D-Day. Yeah, it was on D-Day. That D-Day was the name of the day that it happened. But it's but there's a specific name that is for the actual invasion itself. It's a different name, and I can't remember what it is now. It's like Operation, Timid Attempt or whatever, how they get all these different Doris Day. Yeah, Doris Day. No, there's a name for it. I can't remember it now. As soon as I hear it, of course, I'll know it. Nobody remembers that name. There's a name for it, like Operation, Desert Shield. Remember that or whatever? It's remember there's a name for it, and I forget what the name is. Operation. Yeah, I can't remember the name right now. I know it. but I can't remember it right now. Nobody. Does anybody know what the name is? Difficult Day. Overlord. There you go, Chris. That's it. Operation Overlord. That's right. Very good. I knew I would know it as soon as I heard it. But that's the correct answer. Anybody else have any other guesses? All right, let's see. It should say that here. Except that it starts with D. It didn't do it right. The invasion of Normandy. So the quiz fail. I think it's a quiz fail because it should start with Overlord doesn't start. Yeah, Overlord doesn't start with a D. Difficult day. Yeah, difficult question. The invasion itself was called Operation Overlord. D-Day was the name of the day that it happened. You know that, and the invasion was all over multiple fronts, right? All over the place. But in Normandy, it was called Operation Overlord. So, Chris, you got it right. Yeah, but technically, it needed to start with a D. So D-Day, that's a little bit easier to remember than because everybody hears the D-Day all the time. But Operation Overlord, they don't use that word that much. So D-Day was actually a general term for when the operation was set to begin. Yeah. Yeah, it's the day. It's the day. It's like Tuesday or something, or whatever. Yeah. The name of the operation itself was Operation Overlord. Doesn't start with a D. Yeah. All right. So that was kind of screwy. So quiz fail on that one, I think. Not too bad though. This AI is actually doing much better than I expected. When I was testing with this thing, it was taking and putting a question in here, and then if the answer, when it generated the quiz, the answer wouldn't begin with the letter that it was supposed to be, so they changed the answer to something else completely different. So I'm glad it's working this time. I started with the deep thinker mode here, so I think that's what helps. What ballet technique involves dancing on the tips of the toes? Oh, we should know this, right? Somebody should know this. I don't know what it's called. Is it pirouette? Is that what it's called? No. On point? On point. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. Oh, letter E. Yeah, on point. That makes sense. Or something like that. Yeah. That starts with an E. I've never heard of that before. But on point. Anybody else want to guess? That sounds pretty good. Peekaboo draws. I think you got that. Let's take a look here. Whoa. Let me scroll it down here. On point. Perfect. Yay. Peekaboo. You got it. Fantastic. All right. Oh. Yay, peekaboo. All right, so the next question is, what is the scientific binomial name for a domestic cat? I don't even know what binomial means. Oh, well, two name, right? Right, they got two Latin names for it. So we should be able to figure this one out, right? F, right? But it's gonna be two names. There's right. One of them we know, right? F. Yeah. Erum says feline. Memos feline. Yeah, feline. That would be my guess. But it says binomial. So there's binomial. So it's got to be. There's two names to it. There's something feline or feline something. Maybe feline domestica or something like that. I don't know. Anybody know for sure what the real one is? There it is. Feline. Memo says feline domesticus. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that. Let's take a look in here and see what it is. Oh. What? Felix the caddis? Felix the Caddis. Who knew? Who knew? Felix the Caddis. Felis catus. Okay, I don't know if that's right or not. Felix the Caddis. Felix the Caddis. Oh my God. I'm going to look that up. I don't think that's right. That doesn't sound right. I'm going to look that up on Wikipedia here real quick. Let's see here. Oh, I lost my whole thing here. All right. Copilot. All right, I'm going to look that up here and see what it says. No, I did. Yeah, that's it. It says the cat, Felis catus, also called domestic cat and house cat. Okay, they're right. That's amazing. I would not have thought of that. All right. Shit, now I'm lost here. Hang on. There we go. So they're right. LOL. All right, next question. Next question. Whoops, shit. You didn't see that. You saw nothing. Which major key has one sharp and begins on the note G? Which major key has one sharp and begins on the note G? The key of G? That's what it would be, wouldn't it? Major key has one sharp and begins... Maybe the major chord? Is that what it's trying to say, maybe? It begins with G. It begins with the note G. It's got to be the G major, right? Wow. G flat. What's his major? I don't know what difference between a flat and a major is. There's major, minor, and there's flat and sharp. But let's has one sharp and begin. Oh, okay. That's a G sharp major. Is that a thing? I don't know that much about music. G flat? Are you talking about Davis poetry? I don't know. It's a major key. A note is a different thing. A key is like I think it's like a part like the notes that are in the composition have to be certain notes in order to be in the key. I think that's how it works. And I know there are like major and minor, but I don't know what that means, major and minor. And I know sharp means higher note, and flat means lower note from the main, like A, B, C, D, or whatever. But they're asking for the key. So I think like G sharp major, if that's a thing. Flash says, sorry, I'm just rejoining and a little behind. Oh, that's okay, Flash. Welcome. That's all right. It's probably the key of G if it starts with G. Yeah, that makes sense to me too. None of the other notes start with G. You know? I'm sorry for this inception here. I don't know how else to switch back and forth and read chat. I know what I can do. I come on over here. I can pull this. I could say pop out chat. Let's see. There we go. And then I'll move this over here. And then I can see the chat. How's that? That way I won't have to keep flipping back and forth. Well, I think that it will be a key if you go to your piano. Yeah, it's a key on the piano. G major has one sharp or flat. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what they say. I would guess the key of G G sharp major. I don't think that's right. Let's see. G major. That's it. Okay. Well, that was easier. Too easy. Let's see. Which space telescope launched in 1990 provided deep, high-resolution images of the universe? This is H. Okay, we all know this one, right? This is probably high school level. I think people know this, right? All right, yeah, you guys, everybody's coming up with it. Hubble. Yeah, it's named after the guy. The guy who astronomer who Hubble, was it John Hubble, or I forget his first name, but he discovered that the further away that galaxies were away from our galaxy, the redder they were, the more red shifted their light is. You get the light spectrum. It goes from red, which is the lower frequencies, all the way up to blue in the higher frequencies. So when you look at the galaxy, you look at the they puts out a little spectrum, and it turns out the ones that are further away, the spectrum is shifted more towards the red side, and the further away they are, the more they are shifted red. So so they named this telescope after him because they were going to look really, really deep into the sky at stuff that was really, really far away, which means it was going to be shifted to the red side. So they set it up so it could see those frequencies better. So yeah, Hubble, right? Hubble Space Telescope. Yay! Edwin. Oh, thank you, Yeroom. Edwin Hubble. All right, let's see what else we got here. Which Galilean moon of Jupiter is noted for intense volcanic activity? Ooh. Wow. Io. Yeroom says Io. Memloss says Io. I don't know which one it is. There are four of the moons are Galilean moons, I think it is. I think that it's the four of them. And I can't even name them from memory. Memloss. Is that what Memloss, what does that mean? Does that mean you're raising your hand? Is that what that means? Okay. No, wait a second. We've got a salute. Okay, I get it. You're making all of the little emoticons or emotes. No, what do you call it? Yeah, those are emotes, right? Those aren't emojis. Those are just emotes because you're making them out of regular characters. They're emotes. So you get raising a hand and one with a 07, which is a salute. Starts with letter I. Oh, okay. Oh, that's how we got it. Right. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be Callisto or one of those other ones. All right, that's a wave. Ah, okay. Which is the wave? The 07 is a wave, or the one with the slash or backslash O? That must be a wave, right? I'm just being silly. Yeah, I know, but it's funny. It's I actually just found out about that O with a slash or O with a whatever vertical marker 07. I didn't know what those were, and I just found out what they were the other day. Just last week or so. 07 is salute, right? And then if you do a backslash, an O, and a forward, a forward, which is it? Backslash, an O, and a forward slash, then it's like a cheer. You're putting both hands up. And if you just put one, IO, I guess is somebody raising their hand. Is that what that means? I don't know. All right, so we get that one. All right, next question. We got IO, right? We got that one. Now, HIJ. Which music genre originating in New Orleans is known for swing, improvisation, and blue notes? Ah, okay. We know this one, right? Okay, yes. Memloss says backslash O forward slash. This is what you never do when dancing. Never ever. Yeah, that's Ebrum's favorite thing. Yeah, Ebrum's favorite thing is never put your put your hands above your head when you're dancing. Yeah. All right. I forgot to put the screen up here. So it was IO, right? We got that one right. IO. Next question. Which music genre originating in New Orleans is known for swing, improvisation, and blue notes? That should be pretty easy, right? Right, we know that one. Yeah, jazz. That's my guess. Jazz. All right, let's see what it is. I'm pretty sure it's jazz. Jazz, there it is. All right. Because these aren't really hard. This is about the right level, though, isn't it? Because a couple of them we missed, and a lot of them we get. So it's just about the right level of difficulty. Flash says, if blue notes isn't enough of a clue. Yeah. The blues. Yeah, but it starts with J. Let's see. Which astronomer formulated the 3 laws of planetary motion in the early 17th century? This is K. Flash says Coltrane's album label. Oh, okay. Kepler. Yeah, Erum. Very good. Flash. Kepler. Johannes. Johann. I don't know if the end of that is pronounced or not. Maybe it's just Johann. Yeah, Kepler. I think he's the one. Yeah, Kepler came first, and then Newton. Right, Newton came later and explained gravity and all that, classical gravity. So let's see if it's Kepler. Kepler. What is it? Kepler. Right. All right. Next question. Can you see the questions when I put them up there? Yeah, you can see that. Okay. Which sized wildcat with tufted ears is native to North America and Eurasia? Oh, I know this one. Starts with an L. We know this one, right? Maybe these are a little too easy. No, they're not that. Some of them are hard. Leopard or lynx? Yeah. The clue in this one is the tufted ears. I think that kind of nails it down to which one. Liger. Yeah, lion and a tiger. Liger. Yeah, I think it's a lynx. I think that's what it is. Because the lynx has the tufted ears, the fluffy ears on the hairs on the end of its ears or whatever. All right, lynx. All right, LM. Which prolific classical composer wrote the Magic Flute and Ein Klein Nacht? I'm not even gonna try. M. Mozart. That's a good guess. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. I don't know what Magic Flute. I guess these are names of compositions that he wrote. Classical composer. The Magic Flute and Ein Klein Nachtmusik. German, I guess, huh? Only one I know. Flash says Die Zauberflöte. Yes, Mozart. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's a good guess. There might be another classical composer that begins with M, but let's see. Prolific, it says. So Mozart. There it is. All right. Mendel. Yeah. Mozart. He's the one that's well known. Okay, and what do you call a cloud of gas and dust in space where new stars often form? Okay, this one I know. This is N. Let's see, a cluster, nebula. Erum says nebula. Memlos, Nebula, Flash. Yeah, I think we had a consensus on this one. It's going to be Nebula. And there it is, Nebula. Yeah, I got a chance to go out a few days ago. Was it Friday? And went to a place where it's really, really super dark and did some looking at the sky and stuff and identifying things and some nebula and star clusters and things like that. And this guy who's a real expert in astronomy was there, and he had a real nice telescope and stuff. It was pretty cool. We saw the space station go by. A whole bunch of satellites, and then this big bright one comes by. And I said, what? I said, that's too bright. Maybe that's the space station. And he looked it up on his little app, and it turned out it was the space station. Flew almost right over us. All right, MNO. What Latin term abbreviated op is used to number a composer's work? OP period. Op. Aliens. OP. Latin term abbreviated OP, used to number a composer's work. That's what I think. Yeah, opus. That's what I'm thinking. Do you think magnum opus is like the great work? Opus must be Latin for work, maybe? That's what I'm thinking. Opus. Any other guesses? Different than that. That's what I think it is. Opus. Going. We're going to check. All right, here we go. Opus. All right, very good, Eram. You got it. Okay, P. Which musical dynamic marking tells a performer to play softly? Oh boy, this is a tough one. Yeah, nice one. Now this one I don't know. P. Which musical? You know, when I told them to ask questions about music, I thought they would ask, you know, who's the lead singer of the Doors or something like that. But it's all classical music that they're talking about. You know, I think it was when we threw in ballet. I think that's what threw it off. Which musical dynamic marking? What's a marking that tells the performer to play softly? So this has to do with like written music and like if you're reading music, whoever's playing the thing has to be able to read it and figure out what it is. I don't know what this is. Any guesses? I don't know. Let's take a look. Piano? What? Is that right? What? That doesn't make any sense. What the hell? All right, I'm gonna look that up. That's not right. All right, let's look that up here real quick. That's not right. No, wait. I wanna go. Let me go to Wikipedia. Piano music. Piano teacher lesson. Here we go. Disambiguation. Companies. Entertainment. Music. Oh, look at this again. A dynamic direction in music. Okay. Often appearing in sheet music as P and indicating that the performer should play softly. Oh, there it is. Damn, who knew? Sheet music as a P. Okay, well, that's what it says. It's AI, they're smarter than we are, What can you do? Oh, have you heard of that, Memlos? Oh, yeah? You've heard of that? I think I've maybe seen a P on music before. I don't know. I could only think of pizzicato, but that's when you pluck the strings of a stringed instrument that's normally played with a bow. Ah, okay. Okay. I thought there was something like piccato or something like that, or but that means to play fast or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm probably confusing terms here. All right, Q. What extremely luminous active galactic nucleus emits enormous energy and is visible at great distances? What extremely luminous active galactic nucleus emits enormous energy and is visible at great distances? Oh, I think we know this one, right? This is Q. Yep, both of you got it. Memla says quasar. Erum says quasar. That's what would be my guess, is quasar. Great distances, yeah, because we can see quasars from way, way long distances. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let's see. Quasar, right? QR. Okay, which cultural and intellectual movement in Europe from roughly the 14th to 17th centuries, I already know what the answer to this is, emphasized humanism and revived classical learning? Renaissance, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the Renaissance. It wasn't just in Europe, though. It was all over. The Renaissance kind of happened all over. I don't know if it started in Europe. I guess it was mostly Europe. Yeah. Let's see. Renaissance, right. S. Which famous Tchaikovsky ballet features the characters Odette and Odile? Swan Lake. Good guess. Why not? Swan Lake. Memla, Swan Lake. I have no idea. Let's go with Swan Lake. Let's see what it is. Perfect. Swan Lake. Swan Lake. Very good. So yeah, I think you, yay. I think your room's been sandbagging here. I think he put ballet in there thinking that we wouldn't know he would know ballet, but he's a ballet expert. Oh, Big Ducky Snow. Welcome in, Big Ducky Snow. Hi. I saw you lurking earlier. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a trivia quiz. And the trivia quiz was written by an AI. We told the AI to do to write out a trivia quiz, and we told them to make sure to have cat questions. So you put some cat questions into the thing. So you can play along with us if you'd like, Ducky. All right. Next one. Ask QRST. Next one is T. Which Argentine dance and musical style is known for its dramatic, syncopated steps and originated in Buenos Aires? Oh, I know. It's dramatic, syncopated steps and originated in Buenos Aires. I think I know what this one is. Gin and tonic. Tango? That would be my guess. Memlos is tango. Memlos is tango. Flash says Tanqueray. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, Tanqueray. Oh, is that a drink? Is that what that is? Big Ducky Snow says yes, please. Tanqueray. Eram says gin and tonic. Big Ducky Snows gives a hug. Oh, let me give Big Ducky Snow a hug. Oh, I don't know if I even can do a hug here. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it works. Okay. Okay, I gave you a hug, but I think I did it too fast. I think I got locked out. All right, so heart. Big Ducky Snow says hearts. All right, I'm thinking tango. I still felt it. Oh, good. Thank you. Great. Thank you, Big Ducky Snow. All right. Well, I think this one is Tango. I think Memlos got it. So let's take a look and see what this is. It's got to be a T, so. Tango! Yay! All right. STU. Which planet in our solar system? Well, come on. We already know. You don't even have to. Which planet in our solar system? You don't need to. It's Uranus. Uranus. So at least the AI has a sense of humor. It's giving us a question about Uranus. All right. So it's saying axial tilt of 98 degrees causing extreme seasons. Yep. Okay. So we all know that one. It's about Uranus. Yeah. Oh, behave. Axial. All right. Uranus. It's a Uranus. All right. Which Baroque composer wrote the Four Seasons? V. I don't even know if I can even think of a composer that begins with V. Oh, man. Baroque composer wrote the Four Seasons. Vivaldi. Memlos says Vivaldi. I don't know. I don't know on this one. V. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about. I don't know that. I know a little bit about classical music, but not much. Very little, enough to get me in trouble. Frankie Eram says Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. Perfect. Perfect. Wrote the Four Seasons, Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons. Oh my God. All right, let's see. Vivaldi. Let's see. It was Vivaldi. Hey, Memlos. Good guess. It doesn't sound like it was a guess, though. It sounded like you knew the answer. Good answer. Very good. All right. What ballroom dance in triple time? What ballroom dance in triple time was popularized by composers like John Strauss II? Oh, waltz, right? That would be waltz. Yeah, that's what I would say. Memlos is waltz. Ballroom dance in triple time. Yeah, because a waltz is three quarters, right? Three or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's not 3/4. Is that what it is? 3/4? I don't know what it's called. But yes, that's how it goes. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's how a waltz goes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3/4. Okay, that's what it's called then. All right, so I think we got this one, waltz. I was surprised we're getting some of these, music and dance and ballet stuff. I'm surprised we're even answering those. Waltz, okay. WX, okay. Xerox, right? No, wait. What high energy form of electromagnetic radiation? All right, we know what this is, right? It's used to observe very hot gas in space. All right. It's kind of worded funny, right? What high energy form of electromagnetic radiation, okay, is used to observe very hot gases in space? Well, it's not used. It sounds like we're sending out X-ray radar or something. But yeah, it's X-ray, right? We all know this one, X-ray. This one's pretty easy. That's just a weird way to word that. See how that's worded there? High energy form of electromagnetic used to observe. It should just say observed from very hot gas or space, something like that. I'm surprised how well this AI is doing knowing this, because I tried this a few times offline just to test with it, and it failed really bad. All right, why? Which U.S. national park is famous for granite cliffs such as El Capitan and Half Dome? All right, we know that, right? Yellowstone? Oh! Almost, E-Room. No, not Yellowstone. I know this one because I was close enough to it that I could go see it. Yosemite, yeah, that's what I think it is. A 50-50 an hour, we get it wrong. Yeah. Yeah, Yellowstone is further east, to the east somewhere. Yosemite is up, where is it? California, Nevada or something? I think it's Yosemite. So let's see what it is here. Yeah, Yosemite. I've been trying to collect rocks for another project I want to do. And I found this rock here that I think looks exactly like Half Dome. Doesn't that look like Half Dome? Look at that thing. Doesn't, oh, here, let me turn this. Doesn't that look like Half Dome? Look at that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. This rock that I found. that's kind of like what Half Dome looks like, right? It's got a thing and then it's cut off on one side. So I thought that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I found a whole bunch of really cool rocks. What I want to do is I want to take like here's a crystal that I found. What I'm trying to do is make a you've heard of these crystal radios that they make, where they take a it's how radios were first widely made, or that people used early on, where they'd put a needle or something on top of the quartz and move it around, and the rock would act as a diode, and then they would be able to decipher the radio signals that way. So I wanted to try to do that. So I've been collecting rocks to see if I can find a rock just lying around somewhere that can do that. I think that would be pretty cool. All right, last one. Whoops. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw it. What name describes the band? The Doors. What name describes the band of constellation along the ecliptic used in astronomy? Does that only work with AM? Yeah, it's amplitude modulation. Yeah, it's pretty cool the way it works. Zodiac. That's what I think, because I saw the answer. What name describes the band of constellations along the ecliptic used in astronomy? Band of constellations. Yeah, it's the zodiac. The zodiac, right? We know that. All right, there we go. Oh, and it didn't even ask me. Usually when I ask it a question and it gives me an answer, it puts a little comment at the end that says, do you want fries with that? Where it says, like, can I answer more questions or something? Yeah, that worked out pretty well. I was hoping for some more quiz fails, actually. I thought, because when I tested it before, I think I was testing it on the lower setting, though. It wasn't on this deep thinker setting. It was just really messing up. It was giving answers that didn't make sense, and it was really messed up. Yeah, Memloss on that the way that works is amplitude modulation works by you have a carrier frequency, which is just an oscillator that oscillates the voltage on an antenna back and forth like that. It causes the current to go in and out of the antenna, and that's what makes the radio wave, and that's really fast. That's like kilohertz, thousands of times per second that it oscillates. And then on top of that wave, then with the microphone and amplifier and stuff, they call it modulating it. They make it stronger, higher or lower amplitude on the wave. That's why they call it amplitude modulation. And when you take a diode, you receive in that signal with the carrier wave and the modulation in it. If you end up chopping off the bottom half of that, then what you end up with is a signal that is going, just modulating. All you get is the top half of that wave. And then if you run that into a speaker, then you can hear the sound. So it's a pretty simple thing to build those crystal radios. Later on, they went to something called a super heterodyne receiver, which I don't understand the fundamentals of it at all. But it's much more, you can amplify the signal and do all kinds of stuff with it, and pick out stations better and stuff like that. And this crystal radio, the signal has to be loud enough that it actually, can move the diaphragm of the earpiece that you're using with the crystal radio. I didn't want to actually build a crystal radio. I just wanted to see if I could find a rock that would act as a diode. Diode is a electronic component that lets electricity only flow in one direction. So that's what it does. You got this, when the radio wave comes in like that, it chops off the bottom half of the wave, or the top half, whatever. So you end up with just a voltage that is going, because normally when you're modulating it, it makes the whole thing go higher or lower. And that wouldn't, if you listen to that, it wouldn't really do anything. But if you chop off the bottom, then you end up having higher voltage, lower voltage, higher voltage, lower voltage, like that. So that's how crystal radio works. All right, let me see here. What else did I have on my stream here? Shirtless stream. Oh, you guys missed it. Yeah, this is a shirtless stream. I don't know if you saw the title of my stream. It's a shirtless stream. I don't have a shirt on underneath my hoodie, so I called it a shirtless stream. I thought that'd be kind of funny. All right, let's see if I got anything else here. I don't think I have anything else. All right. Let me see here. All right, everybody came in. All right, I think I can just close that. All right, let me do some shout outs here. I need to find somebody to raid here. If anybody knows anybody who's out there that I could raid. Shout out to E-Room. Thank you for the raid, E-Room. Everybody give E-Room a follow. I think everybody here is. If you're not following E-Room, give him a follow, because he does some really cool stuff. He's a very polished streamer, much different than me. Big Ducky Snow came in. Shout out to Big Ducky Snow. He does race car driving mostly, but he also does karaoke and some other things occasionally. Mostly recently it's been race car driving. So everybody give Big Ducky Snow a follow. Oh wait, whoops. And Flash, I haven't seen you out there, Flash, recently, but I'll give you a shout out because I think you have done streams in the past. So everybody, please give Flash a follow. Maybe we can get him to do some more streams. We can get more people to follow him. Jeff, do you stream? I'll give you a shout out. I don't remember. And Peekaboo Draws. Oh wait, oh shoot, Peekaboo isn't here. Oh no. Let's see. Oh no, it's not giving me. Right, hang on just a second here. I gotta give Peekaboo a shout out here. Peekaboo Draws. Okay. My dyslexia is getting me here. Hey, Peekaboo, you're still here. Great, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Jeff says, I only stream in the bathroom. Oh, my goodness. All right, who did I miss here? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Chris L. Cox. Chris, I don't know if you. I think you stream. I have a memory of you streaming. Let's see, Chris L. Cox. I think that's. Let's see if that works here. There it goes. Okay. I hope I typed that right. I may have just shouted out somebody totally unrelated. Uh-oh. Chris L. Cox. Yeah, there it is. Flash. Memlaws. Let's do it. Did I shout out Memlaws yet? I don't think I did. Ever give Memlaws a follow? He does. He's been doing a Grand Theft Auto almost exclusively now. GTA 5. I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, go ahead and say something. 'Cause I think I got everybody who was here. I'm trying to remember, and I'm looking at the list here and looking at chat. I think that was everybody. I need to set up something like that Chan has done, you know, where he's got that automated system, or that Jack, you know, Jack has a real sophisticated thing. When people come in who are streamers, it puts them onto a shout out list and all that. But, all right, let's see if there's anybody out here. Let's see here. Let's see who's out here. I always try to raid down if I can. Oh, Gibson Lens is out here. Dom Factorio, I think I've raided him before. He has fewer streamers, but I think everybody here knows Gibson Lens. Let's see if there's anybody else here that would want us. Yeah, let's raid Gibson Lens. All right, Gibson Lens. Hopefully I can type that in here correctly here. Oh, Big Ducky Snow's good. I think you misspelled Chris. Oh. Chris Cox with an H. Oh, did I mess up Chris Cox? Let's look at here again. Oh, I see. Okay. CHRISL. Okay, let me shout out Chris Cox again here. Sorry, Chris. There we go. I think that's right. Thank you, Stephen, for catching that. I appreciate it. All right, let's give Gibson Lens a raid here. Gibson Lens. I think that's how you pronounce. That's how you spell his name. I'm gonna check again here just to make sure we're doing it right. Gibson Lens. Yep, that's it. Okay. Oh, you know what I need to do before I do that? Actually, I need to. I got to do my my disclaimers, or what do you call it? You know, my credits, all that. All right, this will take a second here. All right, yeah, I got to do these disclaimers, otherwise I might get in trouble. I don't know, maybe. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is my thing. This is the description from my last one. So this is all different. I got different stuff here. So ignore this stuff. Ignore all this. But let's see. There are my social places. Okay, it's released under Creative Commons, but not this fair use stuff. And I did have some fair use stuff. I think that SRI might have been fair use if it hasn't been released. Let's see what else we got here. And we did Wikipedia articles. They got different licenses. Had some music at the beginning. What else? All right, that's good enough, right? Good enough. All right, let's get out of here. All right, so... All right, here we go. So please stick with us through the raid. I appreciate everybody coming, stopping by. Thank you for the raid room. Oh, thank you for the for the raid call. All right. All right, here we go. I'll start the raid here, and then I'll switch over to my ending video here, my closing video. All right. There we go. Thank you everybody for stopping by and playing the game, doing all the stuff, and participating. Oh shit, wait, it says Gibson Lens invalid username. Alright, I gotta try harder here. Hang on. We'll get this. I think I gotta do the @ maybe, huh? Let's try that. Invalid username. The P? Oh, you know what? Yeah. GIPSONLENS. GIP. GIP. Oh, here, I know what I can do. Here, we'll do it this way. I copy a link to his stream. Raid. Okay, there's the link to his stream. So if I just take that part of it, that should work, right? There we go. All right, we're heading off here. Thank you for sticking through the technical issues here. We appreciate it. Seven viewers. Okay, we got 12. Let's just a little bit more time here. Yeah, you don't have to go and raid if you don't want to. But Gibson Lens, a very cool streamer. Let's see if we can speed this up a little bit here. Okay, I'm just gonna hit the raid now button. All right, bye everybody. Thank you for joining the stream here.